Welcome to the Event Answer Studio. Today I'm making this handsome balloon garland inspired by this plaid bow, plus I'll show you how to make these stunning gold twists. The garland is made by inflating and tying together clusters of 6 balloons. I'm going to be starting at the widest end of this garland, so my first cluster will have 4 18-inch balloons and 2 11-inch balloons. Inflating 2 balloons at a time, I'm going to fill them until they're nearly their full size. Then I'm going to let a little air out as I press them against the table so that they're both different sizes and nice and round. Then tie them into a pair by wrapping the nozzles around each other twice and tying them in a simple knot. Repeat this process so you have 2 pairs of 18-inch balloons and 1 pair of 11-inch balloons. To make a cluster, take 2 of the pairs and overlap them so that the nozzles touch in the center. Then twist 1 balloon from each of the pairs around each other, locking them into a quad. To this quad, we're going to add the 3rd pair by slipping the nozzles of this pair against the nozzles of the quad, and then twisting 1 balloon from this pair around one of the balloons that's already in a quad, securing them all together in a cluster. Every cluster I make for this garland will have 3 navy balloons, 2 green balloons, and 1 orange balloon. This garland will slowly taper in size, so from here, every cluster I make, I'm going to make slightly smaller than the previous one. First, I'll reduce the number of 18-inch balloons in each cluster until there's 3, 2, and only 1 18-inch. The next 5 clusters will only use 11-inch balloons that go from anywhere between 9 and 10 inches in diameter down to 6 or 7 inches in diameter. Then starting at the 10th cluster, I replaced 1 11-inch balloon with a 5-inch balloon, and each cluster after that, I replaced 1 more 11-inch balloon with a 5-inch balloon. To join the clusters together into a garland, I'm going to take an empty 260 balloon, remove all the air, and tie the end in a knot. Then take the end of that 260 and tie it to one of the nozzles of your first cluster. I find it helpful to have all the clusters laid out on the floor in order so you can easily pick them up and you won't have to guess if it's the right size you should be adding next. Nestle the next cluster right against the first one. Pull that 260 string up through the center of this new cluster and wrap it around 1 or 2 of the balloons, securing these 2 clusters together. As I nestle on the next cluster and tie it onto the garland, I'm paying attention to how I'm placing each of those clusters, rotating around the large and small balloons and making sure I have an even distribution of my colors. After attaching several clusters together, the 260 balloon will get near the end of its length. Take another empty 260 balloon and tie it end to end to the current 260. This should give you enough length to finish out the garland. As I place the final cluster onto the garland, I want to make sure the tiniest balloons are pointing towards the very end of the garland so it tapers to a nice small tip. Then take the remaining 260 tail and tie it in a knot to one of the nozzles of that final cluster. When laid out flat, this garland is about 12 feet in length, perfect for wrapping around our arch. To accent the garland, I'm going to make some gold 260 twists. You can inflate these with 6 pumps of air using a hand pump, or you can use an electric timer pump. The important thing is to stretch each 260 out and then inflate it until there's about 4 finger widths of uninflated balloon on the end. Release a little bit of air so that the balloon is nice and soft, and then tie the nozzle off in a knot. Squeeze the length of the balloon to soften up the latex, and then repeat this step so you have 8 gold 260s for each of the gold twists. Take 2 of your 260s and tie the nozzles together to create a pair. Do this with all 8 of the 260s so you have 4 pairs of balloons. Lay those pairs flat on a table side by side with all the nozzles aligned in the center. Squeeze the first 2 260 balloons that are farthest away from you. Slip your right hand under the 3 260s that are on the right hand side and pull that first balloon underneath all of them so that that one balloon sits underneath all of the nozzles. Pull the first balloon on the left hand side over the top of all of the nozzles so that they're sandwiched between the 260s of that first row. Pinch these 2 balloons together after that last pair of 260s and twist them around each other. Take the remaining 260 tails and flatten them back out to the sides. Now the second 260 pair are what's furthest away from you. Give those a squeeze to soften them up, and then slip your hand under the right 3 260s, grabbing that 260 that's furthest from you. Pull it towards your body and nestle it against the right hand side of that first bubble on the underside. Then take the second 260 from the left side, pull it up and over all of the 260s and nestle it on the left side of that first bubble. Then take the 2 260s, pinch them right against the last 260, twist them around a couple times, and then flatten the tails out just like the others. Squeeze the third pair, which is now the furthest pair, away from you. Slip your hand under the first 3 right-hand 260s. Grabbing that third 260, pull it towards your body and nestle it on the right-hand side of the previous bubble. Grab the top 260 on the left-hand side, pulling it over the top of all of the 260s, making sure it nestles on the left-hand side of the previous bubble. Then take the 2 260s, pinch them right against the last 260, twist them around a couple times, and then flatten the tails out just like the others. Take the fourth pair, which is now the furthest from you, and do the exact same thing by pulling the right-hand side underneath, the left-hand side over the top, pinching and twisting them around each other. Now each of our balloon pairs has been added to the twist. We're going to repeat these steps until each balloon pair has been twisted 3 times. You may get a little bit more, a little less, depending how much air is in your balloon and how tightly you're twisting. If you'd like to take your balloon designs to the next level, I'll be opening registration soon for my upcoming in-person and online classes. Get notified about all those class details by clicking the first link in the video description below. After all the 260s have been twisted in a second time, you'll want to start checking how much length is left at the end of each 260 after you twist it by folding the balloon back up on itself to see if it can cover the distance that it just covered. You'll be able to tell if it's long enough to do one more twist. So here you can see me checking, and if one of them isn't long enough, it's time to tie it off. Take a pair of scissors and nip the end of that 260 balloon that isn't long enough and slowly let the air out. Then take that 260 and wrap it through the loop that you just created and hold on to the tail end of that 260. You also need to deflate its matching pair. So nip the end of that with a pair of scissors, release all the air, and then tie these 260s in a double knot right against the twist that you just finished. Take a pair of scissors and trim off any of the remaining 260 tails. Now every balloon pair has to be cut off. So we're going to wrap the 260s under and over just like you would do a normal twist, but the tail end of these 260s have to be deflated and tied off. Repeat this process with all the remaining 260 pairs, and it will slowly taper to a point at the end. Now when you get to the final pair, instead of cutting off the remaining 260 tails, leave those tails attached, as that's how we'll very easily attach the twist to a larger balloon design like the garland we're making today. This end of the twist has a clear front side and back side, as you can see the knots that we've tied, but it'll be very easy to nestle that side against the balloon garland and it won't be seen. I'll be threading the balloon garland through this 8-foot tall arch. The large end will pull in front of the bottom left-hand side and then taper up to slip just behind the top right section of this arch. So I'm going to take some empty 260 balloons and tie them to the arch where I know the balloon garland will be passing over, and this will allow me to very generally hang the garland, and then I can finesse through the final placement of those balloons in a later step. I'm going to thread the narrow end of the garland through the center of the arch and place it behind the frame so that the end of the garland extends past the top of the frame by about 2 feet, and then I'll secure it in place with that upper right hand 260 balloon that I attached to the frame. I'm going to take the end of that 260, stretch it tight, and wrap it around the nearest balloon in a figure 8 pattern. This will be enough tension to hold the balloon garland in place while I situate the bottom half of the garland. Once I'm happy with the general shape of the garland, I'm going to add in a few small clusters to widen out places that I think need a little bit more visual impact. I tied an empty 260 balloon to one of the nozzles of each cluster, and I'm just going to stretch that 260 around 1 or 2 balloons that are already attached to the garland and use that to secure in these extra couple clusters. All of these clusters are going to be focused towards the bottom half of the garland, as I want the top half to be relatively narrow. To keep the base of the garland from flopping around and lifting up off the floor in ways I don't want, I'm going to tie an empty 260 balloon to the foot of the arch and pull that 260 up through some of the balloons that are a little further towards the front to help secure them in place. To give the base of the arch some balance, as well as to camouflage the sandbags I'm using to stabilize the arch, I'm going to add a couple balloon clusters to this bottom right hand side before moving on to adding some of my focal point balloons. This plaid bow is what inspired this handsome color combination. I'm going to attach it directly to the balloon garland using a couple glue dashes. If you'd like to use this bow as well, I have a discount code available for Burst Party Co's website linked in the description box below. Next, I'm going to add my gold 260 twists. I want these to look like they're weaving in and out of the balloon garland. So I'm going to tuck each end of these 260s between a couple balloons of the garland, and then the end that has the 260 tails, I'll tie around some of the balloons of the garland to hold it in place. Once all 3 of the gold twists are attached, I'm going to fill out the garland with some mini balloon clusters. These are 5-inch balloons that I've inflated to 4 inches in diameter, tied into quads, and then used an empty 260 balloon that I cut in half and tied these 2 quads together. Stretch the 260 between the 2 quads around 1 or 2 balloons of the garland. Then you can play with the placement of these tiny balloons, nestling them in places where maybe you need to fill in a hole, adjust the shape of the garland, or add a bit more texture. Whenever you're setting up your balloon design, it's helpful to take several steps back and look at your design as a whole and observe it from different angles. I had stepped back to look at my design and I just didn't quite love how it was sitting, and I realized that it was the gold twists that were leading your eye through the design, and the bow I had placed too high, so it kind of looked out of place as your eye wanted to follow this bright gold line all the way through the garland. So I ended up removing the bow, lowering it down, and adjusting this topmost gold twist so that it looked like it was coming out of the garland and disappeared right behind where the bow is placed, and that way your eye follows that gold, stops at the bow, and then continues to work its way down the garland. If you enjoyed this handsome design, you should check out this video, and until the next time, remember, stay creative everybody!